Hi, welcome to our series on reframing regulation from the Reframing Challenge of Behavior series. We want to focus on why do children struggle to self-regulate? We hear this all the time. Why can't they? Why won't they? What's going on with children today? And there is a lot going on, right? We all know that. We can break that down in many layers. But what we want to know is we do want to teach the skill in a healthy way. We do want children to learn to self-regulate because they have to grow to be adults in the community that have to learn to regulate their feelings and emotions over time. But what we're missing is we're expecting some older children and preschool children to self-regulate when they haven't yet learned to co-regulate officially or appropriately, however that looks for each individual child. And so we really want to use this series to bring to you different ways to really break down those layers. What is co-regulation and how do I help not only an infant, but a 5-year-old regulate, a school ager regulate in my home, in my school, in my community? How do I make sure I'm setting up an environment that supports a child's ability to learn to self-regulate their feelings and big emotions? Because we know they have them. We know they will come. They're going to come. So let's prepare for them together through this series of thinking deeper about co-regulation, self-regulation. Why do behavior expectations matter for young children? Why do we talk about that? Is that related to self-regulation? Yes. If a child doesn't understand the expectations or understand what they can do in their environment to help their body and help their self calm, well, then they're not going to be able to pull from something. So we really have to make sure we're setting up our home environment, our school environment, and just helping a child learn to use themselves. Understand when their body has a big emotion. Wow, what does that feel like for you? Or if they're not able to communicate that, notice what is their body language telling you if they're in a state of anger or a state of just really attachment issues of crying, like hard time leaving and just can't settle back down. Watch that body language and notice and cue into them and tell them they are safe, they are okay. But we have to start there. We have to start with the feeling, what a child's body is doing, and break down these layers. And so we hope from this series that we're jumping into together now, we'll be able to really break that down, understand self-regulation. What does it even mean? It's that ability to understand and to manage your own emotions, those behavior and reaction to what people or things or situations happen to us, we have to learn to respond. And so we want to teach young children they can have those feelings, but how to respond appropriately. No strategy feels successful without a healthy and solid relationship. So if you're trying to do strategies for young children that knows maybe you and them don't have the best relationship right now, that's okay. We can work on it. But you have to think about the relationship with that child and is it sturdy? Do they know you're a safe place and a safe person and a person that cares about them? And that means you can come with setting limits, setting expectations, but you also have to come with understanding you need a relationship with that child to be able to make any strategy work with young children. Self-regulation at any child's needs to be practiced over and over and over. So we want to set a stage that like in early childhood, let's make sure we're doing this in a way that's a natural place in your day. You don't have to think about it. And we just innately teach children to calm and learn skills and learn ways to regulate their bodies. But if we start with self-regulation before we think about co-regulation, we're jumping a child to expect them to do something that they're not been modeled over time and persistency and with intentionality to understand how to do it. So we have to start with co-regulation and we have to do it often and frequently to help young children understand where and when, and not always do it in those moments of hot. Find those moments of calm and natural moments where you can just help a child think about feelings, regulation, what their body is doing, and how they can respond appropriately. And remember, as caregivers of young children, we our job is to positively be able to download our own calm, our own response to them. So we need to be modeling that and showing them we can also keep our composure in a challenging situation, even if it's that child who's the one challenging us. That is very hard. Let's be real. We know that it's true. That is a truth. And that doesn't make it easier or okay that they did the behavior that we're having a challenge with. However, we still need to show them and model how we want them to be able to regulate that feeling and express our own frustration in an appropriate and healthy and developmentally appropriate way. And to help any child learn to self-regulate, they need adults. They need us to be there with them, to co-regulate first. We can't just expect them to go do it and find a space and figure it out. We need that space. But if they don't know what to do there, then we're really skipping the steps. So we're looking forward to this series together where we can break down those layers of what is co-regulation and what are some real tangible ways we can dig into that. And self-regulation as two separate things. They really live separately. We have to have one before the other. What is the environment needed to really set the stage for these healthy, natural experiences to work on self-regulation? And why do we always say the phrase of like, we want you to show them what to do? That's because we have to set the stage. We have to give them a if they can't do something or something is harmful or they're hurting other children, for instance, we have to let them know that's not a safe behavior. Here are your choices. Here are the things that you can do. Choice matters there because now as the adult, we can teach a child within limits what is not safe and what your choices are. This is not a safe choice when you feel that way. It is okay to feel this way, but here's what you can do. So we're going to dive deeper into those things as we move through this series with you. But we really hope this helps you. We hope in your home, in your classroom, and when you're out in the community. And we just really want you to remind yourself, children who typically feel things intensely and strongly, remember their brain, remember to think about what's happening inside of them. What is their body showing us, telling us? What are their words, maybe if they're vocal about it, telling us? Let's listen, let's slow down and listen so we can respond with what they can do, what would be helpful for them. They need us to help teach them what that feeling it's okay to have feelings. It's just not okay to hurt others or hurt yourself in that process. So we really can do this together, but we need to talk about it. We need to talk about the hard things, and this is one of those. How do we talk about that child that has intense, strong, maybe aggressive feelings? We see it all the time. We can help them, but we have to help them by having the conversation and having them have the visuals and the tools that support what they can do with those big, as Mr. Rogers says, those big feelings. What do you do with your mad? We can help them. So we'll focus on that together. And we hope this really helps you create that warm, responsive environment that we want all young children to be able to thrive in. We'll see you next time.